My friend, if you believe you need someone else to be happy, you have forgotten something important. You wake up alone, and the silence feels like punishment. You watch others with their partners, their families, their circles, and you wonder what is wrong with you, why connection feels so far away, why happiness always seems to require another person to unlock it. You have tried to fill the emptiness with distractions, with hope, with waiting for your life to finally begin when someone arrives. But what if I told you that this aloneness is not the problem? It is the answer you have been running from. Stay with me, because what Buddhism teaches about happiness and solitude will change everything you thought you knew about being whole. I know how this feels. The mornings when you reach for your phone before you even open your eyes. Anything to avoid the quiet. The evenings when you leave the television on just to hear another voice. The weekends that stretch long and shapeless because there is no one to share them with. You see couples in cafes, and something twists inside you. Not jealousy exactly, something deeper. A belief that they have figured out the secret you are still searching for. That they are complete in a way you are not. And the worst part is not the loneliness itself. It is the shame that comes with it. The voice that whispers you should be fine on your own. That needing people means you are weak. So you carry both the ache and the guilt for having the ache. You have tried so many things, dating apps that feel like auditions. Hobbies meant to meet people that only remind you how far away everyone seems. Therapy that helps, but does not fill the space beside you. And somewhere along the way, you started believing that your real life is on hold, that happiness is a door you cannot open alone, that joy requires a key someone else is holding. I see you. I see how tired you are of pretending this does not hurt, how exhausting it is to smile through another gathering where everyone seems paired off, how heavy it feels to go home to an empty place night after night. You are not broken. You are not being punished. You are simply human, and humans are built for connection. But before I share what the Buddha taught, I need you to understand why this feels so impossible. The world has been teaching you something since you were very young, before you could even name it. You saw it in every story, every movie, every song on the radio. The message was always the same, that you are incomplete, that somewhere out there is your other half, that love is what makes you whole, that the best life is the shared life, that being alone means something went wrong. Do you remember the fairy tales? They all ended the same way, with the prince and the princess, with true love's kiss, with happily ever after. And the message underneath was clear. The story does not really start until someone else arrives. You learned that friendship is lovely, but romance is essential. That a life without a partner is a life half-lived. That growing old alone is the saddest possible ending. The world told you this in 1,000 small ways, in the questions from relatives, in the pitying looks when you showed up alone, in the way people stopped inviting you to things because you didn't fit the couple paradigm anymore. And so you internalized it. You made it true. You started seeing your solitude as evidence of failure, as something to apologize for, as a problem that needed solving before you could really be happy. You postponed things. The trip you wanted to take, the restaurant you wanted to try, the life you wanted to live, because all of it felt like it was meant to be shared. And doing it alone felt like admitting defeat. This is why it feels impossible to be happy with only yourself. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you have been taught that being enough on your own is not enough at all. The advertisements promised that the right person would complete you. The self-help books said you needed to love yourself first, but they still implied that partnership was the goal. Even the spiritual teachers spoke of twin flames and soulmates, as if your soul was walking around incomplete. And now here you are, caught between the longing for connection and the belief that you should not need it. Between the ache for companionship and the shame of feeling incomplete. But here is what you were never told. And this next part, my friend, this is what changes everything. This is the truth most people spend their whole lives never learning. You are not half a person waiting to be completed. You are whole, right now, as you are, alone in your room or your home or wherever you are listening to this. You are whole. Buddhism teaches something the world does not want you to know. That happiness is not something you find in another person. It is something you uncover within yourself. That peace does not require partnership. That joy does not need permission from someone else to exist. The Buddha understood that suffering comes from attachment, from believing that your happiness depends on external conditions, on someone loving you, on someone choosing you, on someone staying. But when you make another person the source of your peace, you give away your power. You become a beggar at the door of someone else's heart. You wait for them to decide if you get to be happy today. This does not mean connection is not beautiful. It is. This does not mean you should not want love. You can, but it means you stop making it the condition for your life to begin. The person you are waiting for cannot give you what you refuse to give yourself. They cannot give you peace if you do not know how to be at peace. They cannot give you acceptance if you do not accept yourself. They cannot give you presence if you are always running from your own company. What you seek in another person is actually what you are meant to find within yourself first. The feeling of being seen, the comfort of being known. And when you finally give these things to yourself, something shifts. You stop seeking someone to complete you. You start seeking someone to share your completeness with. However, this is where it becomes difficult, because knowing this truth and living this truth are not the same thing. You can understand it intellectually. You can nod along. You can say, yes, I am whole. But then you go home and the silence is still there. And it still feels like something is missing. This is not because the teaching is wrong. It is because you have decades of conditioning to unlearn. You have spent your whole life believing that aloneness is a problem. You cannot simply decide one day that it is not. The fear runs deep. The fear of the silence. The fear of truly being with yourself. Because what if you sit with yourself and discover that you do not like what you find? What if the reason you have been running toward other people is because you have been running away from yourself? This is the hardest part. Not the loneliness, but what the loneliness reveals. That you have been avoiding your own presence. That you have been treating yourself like someone you need to escape. And so you reach for distractions. The phone, the television, the work, the endless scrolling. Anything to avoid the quiet moment when it is just you and the sound of your own breathing. But here is what you need to understand. That quiet moment is not empty. It is full of you. And until you stop running from it, you will never know what it means to be at peace. There is a reason most people never find this peace. Let me show you what stands in the way. The obstacle is not that you are alone. The obstacle is that you have never learned to be with yourself without judgment, without the need to fix or improve or distract, just to be. So here is what you must do, and it will feel strange at first. It will feel uncomfortable, but this is the practice that changes everything. Sit with your aloneness, not to make it go away, not to transcend it or rise above it, but to actually be in it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you can bear before the urge to reach for something takes over. And when you sit there, notice what comes up. The restlessness, the voice that says this is pointless, the fear that whispers you are wasting time, the ache that tells you something is wrong. Do not push any of it away. Do not try to fix it with affirmations or positive thinking. Just let it be there. Let yourself feel the discomfort of your own presence without making it mean something about your worth. This is not meditation. This is something simpler and harder. This is learning to keep yourself company, to discover that the silence is not rejection. And then, when you can bear it, start doing small things alone that you have been postponing. Not big trips or grand gestures. Small things. Go to a cafe and sit with a book. Walk through a park without headphones. Cook yourself a meal that takes time and care. Do these things not to prove you are fine alone. Do them because they matter to you, because they bring something alive in you that has nothing to do with being witnessed or validated by another person. Treat yourself the way you would treat someone you deeply love, with patience, with kindness, with the understanding that you are doing your best. Stop speaking to yourself in ways you would never speak to a friend. And here is what you will begin to notice. Slowly, so slowly you might not see it at first, that the emptiness you thought was the absence of someone else is actually the presence of yourself that you have been ignoring. That the loneliness is not a void waiting to be filled. It is a space asking to be inhabited by you, fully, without apology. This does not mean you stop wanting connection. You can still hope for it, still open yourself to it. But you no longer make it the starting gun for your life. You no longer wait for someone else to give you permission to be happy. You begin now with what you have, with who you are, alone in this moment, and that becomes enough. Not forever, not perfectly, but enough for today. What I am about to tell you is something I wish someone had told me decades ago, before I wasted years waiting for my life to begin. Your life is not on hold. It never was. It has been happening this whole time, in the quiet mornings, in the solitary walks, in the moments you thought did not count because no one else was there to see them. Those moments were your life, and they were enough. They are enough. And one day you will look back and realize that the time you spent alone was not time wasted. It was time spent becoming whole. And when connection comes, if it comes, it will not complete you. It will meet you whole to whole, and that will be more beautiful than any rescue ever could have been. Because you will not need them to save you. You will choose them because they add to a life that is already full. And they will feel the difference. They will know they are wanted, not needed, chosen, not clung to. But my friend, even if that never happens, even if you spend more years alone than you spend with someone, you will still be okay, because you will have learned the most important thing, that you can be your own home, your own steady ground, your own source of peace. This is what the Buddha knew, that happiness is an inside condition, that it does not depend on circumstances aligning, that it is available to you right now, in this breath, in this moment, exactly as you are. So stop waiting, stop postponing, stop believing that the good part of your life requires someone else to unlock it. Begin today, right where you are, with only yourself, and let that be sacred. Let that be enough. One day you will wake up and the silence will not feel like punishment anymore. It will feel like peace. The aloneness will not feel like exile. It will feel like freedom. And you will realize that all this time, you were never incomplete. You were always whole. You just needed to stop looking outside yourself long enough to see it. I see good things ahead for you, not because someone is coming to save you, but because you are learning to save yourself, to be enough for yourself, to build a life that does not wait for permission. And that life will be beautiful. It will be yours, fully, deeply, without apology. Go gently, my friend. You are doing better than you think, and you are more whole than you know.